We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where this afternoon Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Jose Abreu, Melky Cabrera, Alexi Ramirez in the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Todd Frazier, Joey Votto, and Brian Price's Cincinnati Reds. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson as we get set to bring you the finale of this 6-game homestand and the rubber match of this 3-game set with the Reds. As you know, we started this thing off 3 against the Tigers. We won 2 out of 3. Then yesterday we had a doubleheader. They scored 7 times in the 9th inning to win that ball game 10-4. And then in the nightcap, Carlos Rodon picked up his first Major League victory. He worked 6 innings, giving up 2 runs, had 8 strikeouts. But I guess the big story, too, in that doubleheader yesterday, we had 5 home runs.
For the first time in a while, the ball's going out of the ballpark off Sox bats. This has been one of the big problems this year. And in the doubleheader, 5 home runs. Alexi had 2 of them. His 100th and 101. Gordon Beckham had 1. Avisail had 1. Abreu had 1. But overall, it hasn't been a big year. 5 home runs, 7 in the last 4 games after a 9-game homerless streak, and that was really surprising. And it's not surprising, a 5-1 record when hitting 2 or more home runs, but 19 home runs this year, 28th in the major leagues. This is an aspect of the offense that's got to pick it up. I believe they're going to do just that.
Well, not from a White Sox standpoint, but purely from a baseball standpoint. This Cincinnati team is fun to watch on the base paths.
You have got to make them stop. They love walking leads, and they're the best in baseball at it. Yesterday they ran wild. The only way to stop Billy Hamilton is to make sure he doesn't get on, because if he does, it's almost impossible to stop him. Todd Frazier, another very aggressive player, and these guys just go at every opportunity. And once they take off, they just don't stop. So you look at the stolen bases in the major leagues, Cincinnati is right there, 1 ahead of Houston, but they're 37 of 39. They've only been caught twice. And unless someone slows them down, they're going to win a lot of baseball games, and the way to slow them down is make sure you get most of the runners out. You can give up a couple of base hits to the guys that can't run. That would be okay.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
U.S. Cellular Field. It's Mother's Day, and you'll notice the White Sox have added some color to their uniforms and equipment. Pink is the color of the day as MLB and Louisville Slugger are going to bat against breast cancer. This is the 10th year of that partnership, and in that time, over $1 million has been raised. The pink bats will be used all over the major leagues today and will be authenticated and auctioned at MLB.com. Personalized Louisville Slugger bats are available for purchase at MLB.com and SluggerGifts.com. All proceeds from the auction and the sale of bats go to MLB charities in support of the fight against breast cancer. Louisville Slugger will be giving away hot pink bats on his social media channels. Follow on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for chances to win. We'll be back with today's first pitch after these messages.
to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Audi. Truth in engineering. Xfinity. Your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field on a Mother's Day Sunday. It's overcast and 52 degrees at the ballpark today. There was some rain this morning and some rain just really before they've taken the tarp off and got the field ready to play. But we are assured that there will be baseball, and there is one of the heroes from yesterday. First Major League start, Carlos Rodon was absolutely brilliant through 6 innings. He struck out 8. Gave up just 4 hits and had an unhittable disappearing slider. So we hope for more of the same in the future as the Sox, resplendent in a whole lot of pink to go with their home pinstripes, take the field. Let's take a look at how Brian Price is going to line up his Cincinnati Reds for the afternoon tilt. Billy Hamilton, the speedster, leading it off with Marlon Byrd in the 2 spot. Then is Joey Votto, Todd Frazier, Brandon Phillips, Jay Bruce, Devin Mesoraco, the designated hitter, with Brian Pena and Zach Cosart rounding it out. The defense and how they line up behind Johnny Danks. Melky Cabrera in left, J.B. Shuck playing center field today with Avisail Garcia in right. Then it's Gordon Beckham at third, Alexi Ramirez at short, Emilio Bonifacio in pretty much a shaken-up lineup today, playing second base with Adam LaRoche at first. Tyler Flowers behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Johnny Danks. He's on for his 6th start of the year. He's 1-3, his ERA, a whole lot higher than he would like at .620. 32 hits and 24 2/3, and if he can keep that changeup down, he'll be in pretty good shape. The umpires for the game today, DJ Rayburn is behind the plate. John Tumpain is at first. John Hirschbeck, the crew chief, is at second, and Bill Welke is at third. So Cincinnati comes into this 7 games behind St. Louis. They're an even 500 at 15-15. The Sox come into this 6.5 games in back of Kansas City, who leads Detroit by a half game, and they are 11-16. So Robin has got his team ready to go, hopefully to finish off a 4-2 homestand with a victory today. And it appears, as they've thrown the ball around the infield and Johnny Danks has it on the mound, that we're ready to play baseball. And I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Steve. Thank you. And once again, a very happy Mother's Day to each and all out there. Make it a happy, a loving, and a reflective one. So here's Hamilton. Hamilton, 2 for 6 in the series, and takes first pitch strike. Cincinnati comes in hitting at .237 as the team with a 4.04 team ERA. And the count 0-2. Here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center. As that's in the dirt, bounces away, so a 1-2 count.
We won't see a dis-at-bat, obviously, with 2 strikes. We will see Billy Hamilton trying to push punt today. It's his job, plain and simple, just get out first.
He gone.
This is a good fastball on the Menards pitch tracks. You see it, outer third at 91, a little life to it, and he throws it by Hamilton. A good way to start.
So here's Marlon Byrd, 37-year-old veteran. He's 2 for 6 in this series, in that doubleheader yesterday with a 3-run homer. Takes first pitch strike.
That's a good sign. That straight change on the first pitch was exactly where he would have wanted it. Low and away, knee high, and moving away from Byrd.
Now feel slightly to the left. Spread out a little bit. Small gap out there in left center. Two and one to count to Bird. Another change. Good motion, good action. Evens the count at 2.
And that's really what did it, the motion and the movement of the ball, because it was over the middle of the plate and down. But the motion was as good as we've seen John's changeup in a long time.
Well, he's using a little different setup. A little quick pitch right there. Shades of Johnny Cueto. Two down.
You have to watch the best in the league. If you watch the best in the league and what they're doing to alter your style, it works out pretty well. And there's a look at Johnny Cueto, who's laughing because he knows that Johnny Danks was employing exactly what he did about 10 times yesterday.
He's a good one. I didn't enjoy him beating us, but from a baseball standpoint, I really enjoyed watching him pitch yesterday. He is, first time I've seen him live, he is everything that they say.
He can do it, and he can do it a lot of different ways. He doesn't have to overpower you. He can. He doesn't have to trick you. He will. But he got all the big outs he had to get.
Joey Votto with a 1-1 count. Votto 3 for 4 in the game, in the doubleheader, I should know, in the second game, because he didn't play. He was suspended in the first game.
Fortunately.
But he was 3 for 4 in game 2 with a couple of RBIs.
One of the things that Votto does not like particularly, and that is going inside and challenging him. He loves the ball away. It's almost like a Joe Mauer approach.
There's a change-up. Well, if he likes the ball away, then he can dictate his own strike zone by moving around in the box.
That one just off the outside. And you can tell John has a little more life on the fastball. That was 92. We haven't seen a whole lot of 92 out of John, but he's feeling pretty good today.
I like his new action out there.
I think a lot of the pitchers that we've seen, Hawk, are going to simplicity as far as the motion is concerned. They want to make it with a minimum of motion before they go to deliver the ball.
Well, yeah, but he's going more towards, on his first move, he's going towards third base with his lead foot, with his front leg, than he was. There is ball 4. So the 2-out walk, and that'll bring up Todd Frazier.
I think one of the things Don Cooper has tried to impress upon John is get a little more movement. Do whatever you can to get a little more movement. You're not going to be able to pick up velocity, but you can pick up movement. And maybe that's a way to do it.
Frazier hitting at .241, 10 homers. He's driven in 19. Good-looking player. Votto with a decent lead. That's the right size, but wrong shape. Right shirts, wrong pew.
You don't want to keep that changeup up. Although that wasn't John's good one. Looked like he took a little something off. Maybe he tried to cut it in on his hands, and he hit it well foul.
Count evens at 1.
John's control has been pretty good this year, despite that walk to Votto. It's only the 7th walk in 25 innings of work, but he has given up 5 home runs.
Foul ball. So Votto goes back to first.
There we see at 54 degrees, a few showers. Wind, not much of a factor here today. But this game, which was essential to play because Cincinnati doesn't come back again, is going to be played in its entirety. That's hopefully 8.5.
Well, I don't understand that the last foul ball. If the pitcher throws one that hits just in front of the catcher's mitt, bounces in, they get changed ball.
All the time.
he hits a 2-hopper, 1 hop pretty hard.
They don't change the ball.
They don't change the ball.
No. In fact, I used to say to whoever was catching me, if the ball is somehow in the dirt, don't even offer it to the umpire. Wait for him to tell you that he wants the ball. If you can get it back to me, get it back to me, because I can make a ball with a scuff on it, sing and dance.
Well, back in those days, they never offered it to the umpire. Had him off balance a little bit, way back there, and we got a man right in front of Wintrust. So Frazier just more or less one-handed that one out there. That'll show you a little bit about how strong he is. Meanwhile, after half inning of play, it's the Reds nothing, and the good guys coming to bat.
And Abreu, and in the last 6 he's been red hot. With LaRoche, Garcia, and Ramirez in the middle, followed by Beckham, Flowers, and J.D. Chuck ninth, and rounding it out. The defense, and how they'll line up behind Michael Lorenzen, Bird, Hamilton, and Bruce in the outfield, with Frazier, Cozart, Phillips, and Votto in the infield. Ryan Pena behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Michael Lorenzen. On for his 3rd start. As you can see, he's given up the long ball.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours as that pitch tails outside at 92. Emilio, 1 for 4 in this series. Makes the bunt, takes ball 2.
Lorenzen out of Cal State Fullerton, where he was a two-way player. He played the outfield, and he was a closer.
3-0. Lorenzen's 23, 6'3", 203, out of Anaheim, California. And there's 1. Sox come in, hitting at 247 as a club. Outfield shifted around to the left slightly. And there is the leadoff walk.
Lorenzen has touched 100 miles an hour, so we'll see if he can get it over the plate.
And right now, let's check out our picks to click this afternoon. Mangiar, our director and crew, with Beckham, Steve's going with Cabrera. And all the mothers out there on Mother's Day, we're going to go with Alexei Ramirez. All the moms, God bless them. Ooh. Cabrera, 2 for 9 in the doubleheader with an RBI. Oh, and 1 to count.
Unlike Barnhart yesterday, you can run on Pena. Tucker Barnhart got rid of the ball, threw it on the money, cut down 2 would-be base stealers, and he served notice to all the scouts in the stands that if you want to run, don't pick his day when he's catching.
Fouls that back.
Last 18, Melky has been red hot. Most of the damage coming from the left side. And with on-base percentage of .405, he's done a pretty good job. So he's asking Pena, who took that foul ball off his mask, I believe, if he's okay. And DJ Rayburn is giving him a little time to compose himself. Now he looks over. White flush in the mask.
Uh-oh. Can't get him.
That was not particularly well timed on the part of Phillips at second base. He didn't get much on the throw. Normally, he's going to make this double play.
Good job by Bonifacio getting down there.
He got down there as fast as he could. It was a clean slide at second, and he disrupted the play. This ball apparently took a bad hop, but as you can see, having to go up and over Bonifacio, Phillips didn't get as much on the throw.
So here's Abreu taking 95 for a strike. 2 for 8 with a homer in the doubleheader.
Lorenzen has both a curve and a slider. Depending on what he feels like on a given day, he'll use one or the other primarily.
Well, we haven't seen it yet.
Nope, he hasn't thrown it. He's wants to make sure as a young pitcher, and most guys do this, you establish your control first of all.
Oh, and 2 the count. Ball gets away, but not far enough. Good job by Votto just to get some weather on it. Outfield for the most part straight up. Pretty good lead by Melky. Pitch outside, 96.
Lorenzen must have a lot of downward movement on his fastball because hitters have hit ground balls 65% of the time. That bodes well for double plays. It also means you're keeping everything down.
Chases the bad one right there. Took something off of it. Had him off balance. 2 down.
This one well out of the zone. Menard's pitch tracks will show you that Pena makes a very good stop. Jose expands his zone. Anytime it's the first look at a pitcher, it's much to the advantage of that pitcher. Second time through, they're going to have most likely better at bats.
So here is Adam.
When you didn't have all the tape they have today, and you didn't have all the scouting reports they have today, first time you saw a pitcher, how would you understand what he was doing? Or would just have to be visual?
Well, what we would do most of the time, let's say Lorenzen started and we'd never seen it. So if I'm hitting fourth, let's say Mike Andrews was leading off, made an out. He'll come back before I come out of there and say, give me somebody.
Somebody who he was like.
Exactly. Give me somebody. That was the mantra, so to speak, is there's a strike. Give me somebody. And they would say, okay, Steve Stone. I said, okay, thanks.
Well, then you could disregard every pitch but a curveball. That was it. I threw about 70% of them.
But that's how we did it, because we didn't look at film. We didn't look at video. It wasn't available. If they filmed you hitting, but very seldom guys would ever look at them. So I never looked at myself hitting. Never. Not one time. Full count with 2 down.
Now Votto is going to move behind Bonifacio at first, so he can get a little bigger lead.
Takes it up. He did not go. So the second walk of the inning. And that'll bring up Avi. Yeah, that was sufficient for us. I mean, that's all we knew. That's all we could do. But all you wanted was just get a little mental image of how his ball was. How was it coming out of his hand? The speed, the movement. And, of course, 90% of the guys back in those days were sinker slider.
And these days, you're going to sit with mountains of tape, watch them in their last start, maybe their start before. Watch
in between, do the DH in between at bats.
Well, if guys are observant, pitchers will tell you a whole lot about themselves if you just watch them for a bit.
I would like to have had some of the stats that they have today. No way all of them that they have, but some of them. For an example, you're seeing, let's say you're seeing Jeremy Guthrie of Kansas City as that pitches. And the first 2 times up, he got me out. And the third time up, somebody I could go ask Brian Johnson or somebody, Brian, what percentage of breaking balls did he got over? And he would say, not many. All of a sudden, that really clears things up for you. Now, if he gets 3 over, grab some bench. There's that softly hit, caught. So we get a couple of walks, can't do anything with it. And after 1, no score. Flip over to Comcast Sportsnet for Kia Bulls postgame live after every playoff game on CSN. Brandon Phillips, Jay Bruce, Devin Mizraco, Brian Pena, Zach Kozar. Here's Phillips, 1 for 8 in a doubleheader yesterday with an RBI.
Phillips, an even 300. Not hitting the ball out of the ballpark these days very often. But 15 runs batted in is good. And he's going to make contact, put the ball in play. He's hard to strike out. But he's been uncharacteristically chasing pitches out of the zone.
Change up.
Outfield straight away. A light drizzle falling. Not going to affect anything.
Beckham. 1 out.
Enjoy the benefits of being a White Sox season ticket holder by purchasing a prorated 58-game full or 20 or 19 split season ticket plan. Great locations are available. Packages begin during the week of June 5th. So to purchase, visit WhiteSox.com or call 312-674-1000.
They put the shift on for Jay Bruce. Takes low ball 1. Yeah, he's exaggerating that front foot going over towards third.
Well, by doing that for a left-hand pitcher, what it's going to do is allow you to clear your hips. Many times, if you throw across your body, number one, it puts a lot of strain on your arm. You're probably not going to get as much velocity, especially if your arm has been surgically repaired. Today, at least, he's got good movement.
Well, he's clearing. If you throw across your body a lot of times, especially on a breaking like a slider or something, you're going to get stuck and you're going to hang it.
Well, it's really good for sinkers. That's about it.
Yeah.
That's probably the only pitch that really helps you.
Yeah, Danny Darwin was a pretty good pitch. He had a penchant for hanging that slider.
There was a few who wound up seeing their careers ended. Darren Dreifert out of Wichita State was one of those guys that made a whole lot of money, threw across his body, had 2 major surgeries, and eventually the career just went away.
Breaking ball. Ball hit hard. But foul. So the count hangs 3-2. Devin Mesoraco. Just got a piece of it.
Pretty good at bat so far. The 9th pitch forthcoming, and most of them have been low and away.
So the second walk issued by Johnny. And here's Mesoraco.
We're not seeing this young man at his best because of a hip problem. He has not been able to catch. He led all catchers last year in home runs with 25. He's very strong.
Just 2 for 30 on the season. Yeah, when you get something wrong with your hip, hitters are no different than pitchers in that respect. You can get stuck in a swing. You block your hips up. And I guess if he does it, he's just got a tremendous amount of pain.
If Mesoraco is entirely healthy, Cincinnati's a much better team because he helps in balance. He gives him a right-handed power bat. Frazier leading the way from the power side. He's got 10 home runs. But they could use some right-handed power.
Change up. Well, they've got 38 home runs. Twice as many as we do. It's checked at 39.
They play in a great home run ballpark.
Yeah, that's a great American ballpark. Is nice.
You would love to hit there.
That ball muscled deep out there in the left center field. But on the track. J.B. Shupp makes the catch. Two down.
I think Mesoraco probably a little unhappy because if he was entirely healthy and he didn't have a hip problem, that's usually one that goes out of the ballpark. That was in his sweet spot, and he's just frustrated. He's gone 12 straight games without a 2-strike hit. That adds to the frustration.
Ryan Pena. And that's low.
Pena from the left side, 362. From the right side, 222. So this is the side you want to face him. He's been pretty tough historically on our sides.
Over the head of a leaping Emilio Bonifacio. So Chuck gets to it. And that's the first hit of the ball game.
John fell behind and then got one up in the zone. And Pena, as he's done so often against our Sox, a base hit.
Pena, 287 lifetime hitter against us.
This is the guy that has really impressed us in this series.
Zach Cozart, 3 for 6. But he can make some plays at shortstop. He made that one throwing from his knees. It was just awesome.
That was pretty impressive.
Oh. Yanks that one foul. 2 on, 2 out here in the top of the second. The rubber match of this 3-game set. And the finale of the 6-game homestand. We started off against Detroit in a 3-game series. Won 2 out of 3 against the Tigers. Good movement. Jammed himself, popped it up, and that'll retire the side after an inning and a half, no score.
By Miller Lite.
It's our half of the second inning. It'll be Alexei, Beckham, Flowers, the first 3. Alexei had a good doubleheader yesterday. 5 for 8. 2 homers, 5 RBIs, and that first homer he hit was number 100 in his career. First ball, honey, can of corn. 1 pitch, 1 out. Here's Gordon. Doubleheader yesterday. A couple of good plays also. 2 for 3 with a homer and 3 RBIs. If you missed that, here's what he did in the 6th inning.
It's not easy to play occasionally and keep your stroke. Gordon went down and got one and lined it out of the park.
Well, he's been barreling the ball up as good as anybody on our club for the last week to 10 days. Coming up empty, hitting it right at him. Fastball at 96.
Lorenzen was taken the 38th overall in the June 2013 draft. It was called the Competitive Lottery Round A. Take a guy who can hit, he can swing the bat, which is going to help him in the National League. And a good athlete because he was an outfielder in college as well as a closer. And they've decided to start him. Last time out, he was very good.
And another souvenir right side. He's just a youngster.
It's not too often you see a guy that was a closer trying to move seamlessly into the rotation, because the 3rd time through the order you probably need another pitch.
That ball hit in the center field. I'll tell you who he reminds me a little bit of. He's a young Zach Greinke.
He'd like to have the career of Zach Greinke.
Oh sure, but I mean, just of course I watched Zach in high school when he was at Apopka, and he was throwing 95, 96 in high school. He was like a man playing with kids.
He also said he was a cleanup hitter.
He was the best hitter on the team. He was a shortstop when he was not pitching, and he did not want to pitch. And if he had played for Kansas City as a position player, he would have been a starting shortstop hitting 3rd. But his mannerisms, his motion a little bit, like Zach's were when he was in high school.
You're looking at a man that had 35 career saves at Cal State Fullerton, and that's a school record.
And that's a fair ball right down the line. So Tyler makes the turn, and you can cancel the post-game show. He picks up his 3rd double, 1st hit for us.
That was one of the few off-speed pitches that Lorenzen has thrown, and Tyler made him pay the price. It is a straight change. It's down, but it's also in the middle of the plate. He takes it right by Frazier. And Bill Welke given the fair sign.
Well, from where it hit, it had to catch a piece of going over that bag.
Brian Price doesn't necessarily agree with it. Take a look from this angle.
Watch where it hits. So it had to hit the corner of that bag going across it.
You would think so.
Yeah. So here's J.B. Shuck. Pick him up, JB. A little tardy on that fastball up.
He didn't reach back and get everything he could get. That was only 92, but 92 up is the equivalent, really, of maybe 96 or 97 down.
Well, it's a lot easier to hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that's middle of the thigh than it is a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. It's just on top of the letters.
Yeah.
You don't have to fight gravity. That's something that many pitchers don't understand. It's that how many times we've said over the years, show me a guy who knows how to pitch up and I'll show you a winner.
Well, also, if you keep it down and you don't have a sinker, it's not all that difficult to hit.
Pitchers don't know that because most of them have not hit. Of course, Lorenzen has. He was a good hitter in college, but most pitchers don't because of the DH. So here's Bonifacio. He walked to lead off last inning.
That was the third walk. Issued already by Lorenzen.
That one at 94. But it was up. That one at 95. 1-1. Two on, two out, 1-2 the count. After the game, he will head on up to Milwaukee and start a 3-game set. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, have an off day on Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be at the Coliseum in Oakland. And there is a base hit. But here comes Tyler. He's going to score on the base hit by Emilio Bonifacio. And it's 1-0 Sox.
Second changeup he's thrown in the inning, and second hit he's given up in the inning. For whatever reason, he does not have these guys moving their hands on the change, so he has to be tipping it somewhat because that ball was down. Emilio stayed back, and he drives in his first run of the year.
Don't stop now, boys. As here's Melky. Melky hit into a 6-4 fielder's choice. Emilio, good lead. And that ball hit high and foul.
Jeff Pico, the pitching coach for these Reds, probably going to have a talk with Lorenzen between innings about establishing one of the breaking balls, either the curve or the slider.
Oh, right now he is basically the one-pitch pitcher.
And fighting his control with that pitch. There is Jeff Pico.
There goes Emilio, and that ball's lined right, and that's a hang whiffle for Cabrera. That got his butt. Base hit by Bonifacio knocks in Tyler Flowers, who had doubled, and after 2 it is 1-0 good guy.
Mother's Day.
Thank you.
She is the lovely wife of our closer, David Robertson, and together they co-founded High Socks for Hope. And Aaron, tell us a little bit about High Socks for Hope.
Well, we started High Socks for Hope in 2011. David is from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and a tornado hit there. And we wanted to raise as much money as we could to help rebuild and get people back on their feet there. And it was so great. We had such a great response, and we really helped people there. And we've since then moved to several other cities throughout the country. And now we're working in Fairdale, Illinois, for the people that were recently struck with a tornado and lost everything there.
And, of course, the High Socks for Hope is probably after the sartorial splendor that your husband exhibits when he goes out to the mound. And tell us a little bit about how our viewers can get to you and make a contribution to something that sounds like an awfully good charity to me.
Thank you. Yes, we have a website, highsocksforhope.com or .org. We like to keep people updated with our Facebook page, facebook.com/highsocks. And you can contribute right there. And, you know, everything that we are collecting, we're giving right back to the people that need it most.
And this is something you will continue to do if anything happens anywhere in the country. You guys will then expand and try to help those folks who are probably at the most vulnerable stage of their lives if they lose everything because of Mother Nature.
Yes, yep. We've been, like I said, all over the country, and our goal, you know, when we started out, we didn't really anticipate sticking with it, but we've seen the changes that have been made to these people's lives, and David and I believe strongly in it, and we'll continue to give back to as many people as we possibly can. As much money as we can raise, we'll give it right back to those people, so we'll keep going.
And Aaron, in this day and age, we hear so many bad things about professional athletes around the country. It's really nice when you see something like you and David are participating in, and we wish you the best of luck. Hopefully you will raise a great deal of money and you will help people at a very difficult time in their lives. So thank you very much for all of our viewers and for Hawk and I.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Luke's mom. Their 2.5-year-old son. 0-1 to count. And there is the strike. So 0-2 to count.
Johnny's figured out a way to hold down Hamilton. Don't let him get on.
That usually works.
That'll work. That'll stop a base stealer.
I love to watch him run, but I want to do it at home sitting in my sofa.
Get to watch the highlights against
watch
somebody
the
else.
highlights against the National League team. Two down. Yeah, that's a fun club to watch. Here's Votto. He walked with 2 out in the first inning. Oh, and 1. Good pitch. Didn't test off the plate. Pretty good pitch, whether you get it or you don't. And there's a good pitch right at the knees on the corner. So 1-2. Quick pitch.
Pretty good idea, giving a quality hitter a different look. And the Reds made a pretty smart acquisition. They hired Barry Larkin as a roving infield instructor for their minor leagues. I can't think of too many guys better to teach youngsters how to do it than Barry Larkin.
Me either. He was probably, in the last 50 years, probably the most under the radar great shortstop in baseball.
And there wasn't anything he couldn't do. He could beat you a whole lot of different ways.
And he's very good at slicing and dicing a game, too, as an analyst.
Yeah, I always had a great deal of respect for him. He was also very easy to deal with.
Foul tip, tongue on 2. Votto says what? Meanwhile, he gone. And we'll go to the bottom of the 3rd, leading 1-0. Beer Money. Watch the most exciting sports trivia show on television where the fans test their knowledge and try to win big. Tonight at 7 right here on Comcast Sportsnet.
This is the second time through the order, and Bonifacio and Cabrera, the second time through, had pretty good swings at Lorenzen. One of the reasons is he hasn't shown he can get anything over the plate but a fastball, and when he does throw the changeup, he apparently is showing the hitters because they've stayed back and hit both of them hard. So we'll see how the second trip through affects him.
There's a breaking ball strike, one of the few that he has thrown for a strike.
Well, that was probably expressed between innings that you're going to have to use something else. He's going to throw another one here, a slider.
He's got a different motion with it.
Yeah, getting under it. That, I mean, as tall as he is, you get under the slider, it's going to stay up, it's going to be flat, and if it's in the zone, it's going to be hittable.
Another one. Stayed on top of that one a little better.
And in their manager, Brian Price, they've got themselves an excellent pitching coach.
Oh, yeah.
A lot like John Farrell, who really understands what to do, what not to do. He was an exceptional pitching coach.
Well, over the years, I've had a couple of owners, friends of mine, called after they had Eslow away and fired their manager and asked my opinion on, give me a short list, Hawk. Give me a couple of names. There's a shot base hit. The leadoff man aboard, and it just so happened with those particular ball clubs, and both of them were in the American League. I did not give them any names, but I told them, I said, what you should do, in my opinion, is find yourself a former pitcher who knows the game of baseball and hire him, rather than go out and find a guy who doesn't know a whole bunch about pitching and hire him. As here is LaRoche. Now, I'm a firm believer in that. There have been some great managers who were former pitchers. Nothing gets lost in the translation there.
Well, over the years, probably more catchers than any other position have made managers. That's been the number one. But you're right. There's some very good managers around baseball right now who are pitchers.
Sure, you got Carl, you got Buddy Black.
Buddy Black's a good one. And again, he's under the radar too because he's been in San Diego and he hasn't had real good teams.
Sure.
But he's got himself a pretty good team this year.
That general manager out there in ours, Rick Hahn, I think those two guys did two of the greatest jobs I've ever seen general managers do, to take a mediocre ball club and turn them into a contender over when there is a shot but going foul.
They decided in San Diego that they were going to try to recapture their fandom by spending some bucks. And they realized also that while everybody was conceding the National League West to the Dodgers have found a way in years past not to be quite as good together as they were predicted to be. So San Diego right now is 3.5 games back of the Dodgers, who have a very good team. But they've got some major pitching problems. And
one out.
And there is the West, with the Dodgers losing a couple of their projected starters for the season. And so they're in desperate need of one, and everybody keeps mentioning a number of guys who are out there for the Dodgers to acquire. Of course, money is not an issue, so look for them to be making some sort of a major deal, but there's a couple of guys they don't want to give away their top two prospects, Seager being one of them.
That's shanked into right field for a base hit. So Jose will pull up at second.
That fastball tailing inside at 95, and as Avi has done, doesn't overswing, inside out, and dumps it into right field.
So here's Ramirez. Lexley popped up to center field. 1-4-0 for us, 0-1-0 for them. That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Right in front of the Comcast sign. Makes the catch. Caught it towards the end of the bat. And that is out number 2. He just missed it. Just a hair quick.
This ball is out away. It's a slider. Doesn't have any tilt to it. It moves straight across, stays on the same plane, and Alexi probably just a touch more on the sweet spot of the bat. And that's a 3-run homer.
So here's Gordon. He went out to center his first trip. Takes that 94-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike. Okay. Big pitch goes Gordon's way, so it's 2-1. And there is a no right off the end of the bat. Look for a second like it might fall in there. Meanwhile, after 3, it is 1-0 Sox.
in the sports industry, attend the White Sox Career Fair on Friday, May 22nd. Network with representatives from top sports organizations and stay to watch the game. Admission includes the fair and a game ticket. To purchase, visit whitesox.com/job.
Todd Frazier will lead off the top of the 4th inning. He went out deep to left center field. J.B. Shuck up against the fence out there, right in front of Wintrust. High pop up. Had him out in front. I just got a text in between innings. There's white pitchers, Hawk, for managers. Well, I think it's a lot easier to find somebody who can run, so to speak, the X's and O's of baseball than it is to find somebody who knows pitching and can teach pitching.
Yes.
And that's the reason why. The biggest reason, as here is Phillips. Still twirling his bat as the ball across the plate.
Well, occasionally that quick pitch works really well. And credit John with being observant, watching Johnny Cueto do it, and do it quite nicely.
That's up high.
So the first pitch, as Brandon Phillips is still twirling his bat, which he continues to do even after the first pitch is called a strike.
Good pitch. And on the outside edge.
There's a look at the man that has refined that quick pitch.
And there was another quicker. Look at the play by Alexi. Look at the play by Alexi. You got to be bleeping me. What a play by Ramirez. Wow.
Well, what Brandon Phillips was telling John Tumpain was he didn't tag me. And no, he didn't, but he did have his foot on the bag, apparently. And Alexi Ramirez just made one that you'll see quite a bit of. Just a great job to his left. It's one thing to get to the ball. This ball is actually behind him. It's another thing to tumble and twirl and get the throw off. What a play. Now, the question is, when they review it, will they find his foot off the bag?
Yes.
That angle, it appears that they probably will find his foot off the bag.
That was a great play.
He did not tag him. So we'll have to see what the appeal says, but what an effort by Alexi at shortstop.
Well, John Tumpain at first base, one of the better young umpires coming up. But even the good young umpires and the good veteran umpires miss them occasionally.
And also, you can get caught up in the play.
Exactly.
With an effort like this, you get caught up in the play, and you maybe just for an instant take your eye off it. Phillips said right away that he didn't tag him.
Well, yeah, but Tumpain is pointing to the corner of the bag.
Right. He's saying that he had his foot on it, but
if it was his toe.
He did have his foot on for a while, but he had to come off because that ball was on the home plate side of first, and the first responsibility of any first baseman is to catch the ball.
But it's got to be conclusive.
Yeah. We'll take a look. It's fairly conclusive. But we'll wait for the call.
Yeah. So they're getting ready to get rid of the headphones and call him safe. that'll be a base hit. That's the second hit. Given up by Danks. And with one out, that'll bring up Jay Bruce. Bruce walked. Back in the second inning. So now Phillips at second.
That's most likely going to be a wild pitch. It's going to be just the second Johnny's thrown this year. And these Reds have shown that if you give them just a cursory look at second, don't vary your times, don't look back a couple times, they will steal third base.
Yeah, Bonifacio back out there in short right field. And that's popped up left side. Beckham. Gordon's got him. 2 down. So here's Devin Mesoraco. He went out deep to center. Outfield bunts just a bit. Slightly to the left. That ball hit hard. Way back. And it's off the wall. Mesoraco is going to get into third as Phillips scores, and the game is tied at 1.
That ball was up, out over the plate. And Mesoraco, who just missed it in the second inning, just misses hitting it out of the park. It's a changeup, and we talk about changeup for John when it is up and the damage that ensues. This one didn't miss by much. Chuck not timing it. Actually, the ball hits behind him.
Ball in the dirt.
First run batted into the year, and if the Reds are going to do anything, Mesoraco has got to swing the bat like he swung it last year, and that was his first career triple. Apparently a fine catch in the stands.
I think it was by a young lady. And why not? It was Mother's Day. That's low. 2-1. That's a can of corn. So the great effort by Alexi Ramirez. They just missed him. And we'll go to the bottom of the fourth, tied at 1. to this 3-game series. Take another look at that triple by Mesoraco.
You see Shuck going back. He checks where the wall is, but then ball winds up behind him.
Very close to going out of here.
Yeah, Mesoraco is really strong, and as soon as that hip gets to be 100%, he's going to hit a lot of them out.
So here's Tyler. Takes a breaking ball, low and away. Tyler doubled and scored. Fire run back in the second inning. Two 2-0. He's got the catbird seat. His only men really meant to light him up. Rieno. And there's the leadoff walk. And back in 2006, Commissioner Bud Selig in Major League Baseball launched the Going to Bat Against Breast Cancer initiative to raise awareness and raise funds towards research for the fight of breast cancer. Now, today, you can see a lot of our players, and a lot of their players are using these pink bats made by Louisville Slugger, and that is stamped with the MLB Breast Cancer Awareness logo. You can get one of these bats because game used Louisville Slugger pink bats from Mother's Day games that have been authenticated, which they will be after the game by MLB, are auctioned exclusively on MLB.com to benefit the fight against breast cancer. And there's a base hit. So a good way to start. The walk, the base hit, and here comes Bonifacio, who knocked in Flowers back in the second.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it is the first run batted in of the year for Emilio. He went down, he got a low changeup. That is the lone run of the ball game to this point. Now you would think Emilio would be laying one down right at Fraser at third.
He might have as good a technique as anybody in our club. Now let's see if that technique works.
He's looking for sacrifice number 1. Actually, the Sox only have 2 this year.
And stay fair. So that technique definitely works. And the sacks are packed with socks.
Perfect bunt. He shortens up on it. Worst case scenario, this is going to be a sacrifice. Best case scenario, it turns into a base hit. And as Pena looks at it, one of the things you should be doing as a visiting team is understanding which way the ball is going to roll as it gets close to the line. And as you can see, this one is not going to roll foul. But before the fact, you should know that.
Even you're right. It's exactly one of the first things you do when you go into a visiting park. Right? But in that particular case, it wouldn't have made any difference.
No, that's a perfect bunt.
Yeah.
I mean, he laid down absolutely a perfect bunt. And Jeff Pico comes out, settle down his youngster. It's very difficult when you're essentially a one-pitch pitcher. Now, he eventually will get some depth. We talk about depth on the slider. That means the slider will go down as well as slide across. That will come to him, but Melky with the bases loaded, a very good career hitter.
He's 0 for 2. Last time up, hit a bullet right at. As that pitch just off the plate. Marlon Byrd in left field. Count evens at 1.
Good speed at second and first. Better than catching average speed at third.
Shot caught. And a good job by all the runners not to get doubled up. So another hang with him for Melky Cabrera. Dadgummit.
You can hardly hit the ball any harder than he's hit it the last 2 times. And Frazier is well off the line. Unfortunately, this one right in the glove to his left. Then he looks at third. This is an easy one to get doubled off. And Shuck and Emilio didn't get doubled off.
Well, you just think back the last week, 10 days, we have had an inordinate amount of rockets right at somebody.
Things are starting to look a whole lot better as far as at-bats with the offense as J.J. Hoover, who we've seen in this series, starts to throw.
0-1 to count for Abreu, who is 1 for 2.
Well, that's a break. That one had the whole plate down. Our Honda pitch tracks.
Checks it up. So Lorenzen on top of the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Pretty good pass at that one.
He reached back, got a little something extra. That was his best fastball at 97.
He got away with a cookie right there. They're going to go to second base, the return throw, and they get him. Boy, that is a wonderful double play. Turned by Votto, Cozart, and the pitcher, and we can't do anything with the bases loaded and nobody out.
A spectacular double play to get out of the inning. Votto, only 2 errors this year, down on one knee, gets a good solid throw across. And the return, and Lorenzen is right there.
And you can stick that one in your pocket. Cozart leading off. So we had the bases loaded. Todd Steverson and I were talking about that the other day. About not swinging the bats and generally being in an offensive funk. We were talking about all the balls that were hit hard right at guys, all the terrific plays that were being made against us, that in Minnesota.
That was one of the better ones.
And that was one of the better ones. That's just the way it is. You go in streaks where you hit rockets right at guys. In Baltimore, we hit some very hard shots. A couple that Adam Jones made him look easy.
Wouldn't be surprised if Hamilton did the same thing Cozart just did. Knowing with a left-hander on the mound who falls off to the third base side, you put it in a good spot, they're not going to get him.
Hamilton 0 for 2. Takes a strike.
Takes a look down at Jim Riggleman, third base coach. Billy Hatcher, the first base coach.
Cozart is 3 for 3 in stolen bases. If you're just joining us, I showed you in the opening. How about this for a percentage? The Reds stole 37 bases. Been thrown out twice. 37 for 39.
Lead the Houstons by 1. The Cubs 8 behind.
What does not bode well for our division. Detroit, I believe, is 4th. 28.
They're a rare combination of a team that can bludgeon you with that lineup and they can run. They're hooking up with Kansas City tonight in Detroit. Those teams have split their 6 games this year.
2-1. Gap in left center. Top of the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two pitch. He gone. Second strikeout by Hamilton. 4th by Danks.
Throws that fastball, ties him up inside, and nothing Hamilton can do with it.
So here's Marlon Byrd, a strikeout and a ground out to short.
Pretty nice line so far for Johnny. Fastball's been lively. Only made the one mistake, Mesoraco. Other than that, with the changeup, he's at pretty good command.
Change up. Joey Votto on deck.
Burr and Chuck very deep. And a couple of steps playing the pull.
There goes Cozart.
Good throw by Tyler Flowers. That one was right on the money. And Emilio thought he had him. It's a straight steal. He never looks back.
You got him on the knee. Looks like. Looks like you got him on the knee.
And Robin wants him to take a look. Ball beats him.
Right there.
It would appear that right there,
that's
the tag
conclusive.
is on before the foot is on the bag. From that angle, which was a good one, now we'll have to see on the appeal if it goes Robin's way.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty conclusive right there. But we have seen some that we thought were conclusive.
Didn't turn out to be.
It didn't. Tyler, good effort by Flowers.
This is a pinpoint throw that beats him. The leg is obscured on that angle.
Yeah, well, that angle, other angle we saw, here it is.
But this angle, it looks like the tag is on and the foot is not at the bag yet. Right there, the tag is on, and you can see daylight between his foot and the bag.
That's conclusive. But again, they have Major League Baseball, MLB, has two cameras here that we don't have benefit of that they can use. And we don't get that. We don't get their shots. He gone. Beautiful throw by Tyler.
That's only the third time all year that a Cincinnati Reds base stealer was cut down, and it took a brilliant throw by Tyler Flowers.
So 2-1, the count. And there is ball 4. So that's the third walk issued by Nanks. I'm going to give you a stat here on Joey Votto that's just almost incredible. From 2007 to 2012, he popped up to the infield only 11 times.
I know. It really is astonishing.
With none in 2010. That is unbelievable. Votto has walked and he has struck out. evens the count. And now Johnny on top in the count, 1-2. You want to go hard high, slow low. Throw it right underneath his hands. Otto choking up on that bat. Two and two. There's a chopper, 3 hopper, and that'll retire the side. We're halfway home, tied at 1. All right, Jen, thank you very much. As we're in the bottom of the 5th inning in this 1-1 tie. They have 4 hits, we have 6. And here's Adam LaRoche to lead it off as they have a shift on. But nobody's out there in short right field. Just 3 defenders on the right side. Three and 0. Let's get some base runners. Just tuning in, we had the bases loaded, nobody out last inning, and couldn't score. They turned a stunning 3-6-1 double play. That's down in the corner. They're not going to catch that one. So Adam making the turn, and he will open up our half of the 5th. With a double. That's his 3rd 2-back.
Lorenzen fell behind and went to a high fastball inner portion, and Adam was able to go upstairs get on top of it and making sure that Bruce couldn't get to it down the line.
So here's Javi. He's 1 for 2. That one at 94. The ball hit hard, but another one right at him. So a hang with him for Javi.
Friday, May 22nd, come and see the White Sox take on the Minnesota Twins at 7:10. All fans are invited to stay for a spectacular post-game fireworks show presented by Magellan Corporation. Purchase tickets today by visiting WhiteSox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
Here is Alexei. He has popped to center and gone out deep to left. Just missed a 3-run homer. All right, knock him in, Alexei. A rolling breaking ball. And he goes to 3-0.
Lorenzen's been very fortunate today because he's gotten behind so many hitters, and unfortunately the Sox have had the atom ball going pretty well in their offense.
That's the whole story of the game right now. We stranded 8 guys.
A lot of line drives hit right at defenders.
That one takes it. Nice. Cantini bounce. For Frazier. So 2 down. Yeah, that's the whole story of the ball game so far.
There's a 3-0 green light. That ball over the middle of the plate, but it was not a fastball. There you look at the numbers with 4 walks and 4 2/3. So it was 7 hits, not to mention the line drives hit. The young man has been fortunate.
Gordon. High in the right field, so we get the leadoff double. And can't do anything with that. We have completed 5 and we're tied at 1. As our Sox go up against new manager Craig Counsell and his Milwaukee Brewers. Coverage begins at 7 on CSN Chicago. Frazier, Phillips, and Bruce to face Johnny Danks here in the top of the 6th. Each team with a run. Each team with no errors. They have 4 hits. We have 7. They have stranded 5. We have stranded 8.
Gordon is very close to the line at third, anticipating that Frazier's going to be trying to pull the ball.
Checks it up, fouls it off. One and 2 the count.
Took a little something extra off that changeup. Usually throws him 80, 81 miles an hour. That at 75. And he had Frazier well out in front.
Javi, a long way to go. And that's just foul. Thank you. Just foul. Frazier last year, 29 homers, knocked in 80. Picked up 20 stolen bases. Watch this.
Just foul enough.
He gets break. Fastball upstairs. Jammed him, popped him up. Stay in here. Stay in here. It will. Thank you very much. 1 down.
From May 1st to the 31st, buy 4 qualifying Cooper tires from participating Cooper dealers and score a voucher for 4 free White Sox tickets. Life's a road trip. Come on, let's go. Visit whitesox.com/Cooper tires for more information or to redeem your voucher.
Brandon Phillips. Takes first pitch strike. Fastball up there.
John's throwing the ball very well today. He's moving it up, down, in, and out. He has added some deception to his motion. He's using the quick pitch.
Looks.
Yeah, he's just doing a terrific job.
Through 7 innings in the Bronx, the Yankees leading Baltimore 6-2. Mike Pineda, I believe, has 16 strikeouts through 7 innings.
He's given way to Dylan Kansas. What an outing that was.
Check it out and see. Pineda, 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, no walks, 16 strikeouts. Good piece of woodwork. Pokes it into right field for a base hit.
He was in full protection mode, and that's one of the things that Phillips does well. He's going to put the bat on the ball, and this ball is a good 4 inches off the outside corner. He just reaches out and pops it into right field.
Here's Jay Bruce. Takes first pitch strike. All right. Rack him up. The gun of Alexei Ramirez. And we'll go to the bottom of the sixth, still tied at 1.
Night in the nightcap of a doubleheader. He struck out 8. Good hard slider. All of the strikeouts were strikeouts swinging. His first major league win, and what a job it was. There you look at the line. Very impressive. 108 pitches, and the first of what will be many major league wins. J.J. Hoover comes into the ball game on for the 13th time. 2-0 the ERA, 365. We saw him in the first game of the doubleheader. He pitched 2/3 of an inning and retired. The only 2 men he faced in relief of Johnny Cueto. Came in with a big lead in that one. This time he comes in and the game is in his hands. It's a 1-1 tie.
Want to know the count to Tyler, who was 1 for 2, a double and a walk. Two and one to count. It's 3-1. Don't help him out. And a full count. Payoff pitch. And that's a leadoff walk. All right, boys, let's get something done. So that'll bring up Chuck, who has walked and singled. Softly hit. He's going to. Thank you.
That's not a particularly good move by a smart player.
Thank
because
you.
he thought maybe he'd be able to turn the double play, but he took Tyler Flowers off base and put on the much speedier J.B. Shuck.
We'll take it.
And Shuck is hustling all the way, so not a particularly good effort. Shuck carries with him the go-ahead run. That could prove costly.
First and 30, Emilio. He has walked, singled in a run, and had a beautiful, perfect bunt single with 2 on, nobody out back in the 4th inning, right down the third base line. That loaded him up with nobody out, and we could not score. One and one to count. And it's 1 and 2.
Hoover has been one of the bright spots out of the bullpen. It's been problematic for the Reds to get the ball to Aroldis Chapman with the lead.
Yes, he did. So 2 down.
As you can see, the starters have been pretty decent. The bullpen ERA has been abysmal. Last in the major leagues.
Well, he's going to get Hoover, go to the left-hander for Melky Cabrera, who's hit the ball hard every time today. So JJ departs, and we'll be back.
He has a lot of moving parts in that motion, and although he is tough to hit, his control has not been there. 7 walks in 9 2/3 innings. He's given up just 4 hits, however, so the stuff is very good if, in fact, he can get it over the plate.
He's 25 years old, 6'4", 210 pounds, out of New Lenox.
There's a young Hawks fan enjoying his day at the park, and one day when he actually faces the field, he'll learn a lot about this game.
Cingrani also was a closer for Rice University. He recorded 12 saves, tying a school record that was held by David Ardsman. So here we go. Melky hit into some tough luck today, to say the least. There goes Shuck. No chance. So now make that play, taking Flowers off the base pass pay.
Gets a very good jump. Zangrani uses the slide step, but he has a slow delivery to the plate. And we talked about Pena behind the plate as opposed to Barnhart.
Well, that jump Barnhart wasn't going to even get him. That was a Lance Johnson jump there.
Nope. And last stolen base a long time ago. Over a year ago.
That's low, and the count 2-0 with Abreu on deck.
Abreu on deck and nobody throwing into pen.
Right at the bottom of the zone. High pop up. Cozart makes it, and that'll retire the side. We'll go to the 7th, still tied at 1.
A game card courtesy of Jewel Osco with a coupon for $10 off a purchase of $100 or more. Jewel Osco, keeping it fresh, keeping it local. Purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
Top of the 7th inning in a 1-1 tie. It'll be Mesoraco, Pena, and Cozart. They put a shift on for him. Curveball strike.
That hasn't thrown many of those first ball curveballs, but normally when you do, you can get them over the plate. Very few people swing.
Good pitch, didn't get it.
That was an excellent pitch, and it had the whole plate.
And the count 1-2. As Rocco is going out deep to left center field, and he has tripled off the center field wall, knocking in their lone tally back in the 4th inning. Pops him up, and that's not going to be playable. Sox trying to make it a 4-2 homestand. Took 2 out of 3 from Detroit, and this is a rubber match against Cincinnati. Tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday will be at Miller Park. Take on the Brew Crew. Thursday's an off day, and we will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Oakland to take on the Athletics. High pop up. One out, and we want to wish one of our favorites here for the Sox happy birthday. Ray Garcia, 30 years old.
Well, he made it this long, so I think everything's going to be fine. And imagine the luck of being born on Mother's Day.
That would be lucky. Ray's a good man. Pena, a single. That was a line drive into right field. And he has gone out to left. No walks. Come back and get him. There's one. That's into right. Long way to go. Yes! Beautiful sliding catch by Avisail. And that's out number 2.
Avi went a long way for that and closed a lot of ground. This ball's in fair territory. Would have been a 2-base hit, but he takes it away at the last instant. That is a big play, especially the way Cozart is hitting this series.
Cozart is 1 for 2. And he's 4 for 8 in the series. And that's going to be over there at dugout souvenir time. He's just a really good looking player.
Can handle the bat well. He runs certainly better than average, and defensively as good as it gets.
Out and around that one, hooks it into the seats. You know, you see guys in spring training, and all of a sudden you see them during the season and look like sometimes 2 different people.
Yeah.
That's trouble. Look at this. Oh, man. That would have been some kind of play.
Well, Gordon did the best he could possibly do because he knew the only thing he had was bare hand throw in the same motion. Cozart runs well. The bare hand, the throw, and ball trickles away. So his second hit of the afternoon, and he was thrown out trying to steal back in the 5th.
So a bunt single and an infield single. Here's Hamilton. Hopefully that'll turn out to be good for us that Cozart beat that out.
Hamilton won't be leading off the next inning.
That's it. Hopefully.
Time now for AT&T Uverse Multiview. Cozart in the fifth, originally called out at second base, only to see the play overturned. Emilio thought he had the tag down there, immediately looked at the dugout. Robin came out, challenged it, and leading off the inning with a walk later on, it turned out to be a big call.
That ball hit high and deep in the left center field. But we got a man there right on the track. So we're glad Cozart did, in fact, beat that out. Meanwhile, seventh inning stretch, we're tied at 1.
At U.S. Cellular Field. Take home a piece of White Sox history, including game-used equipment, jerseys, hats, and much more. Entrance to the garage sale is free. For more information, visit WhiteSoxCharities.org. So Cingrani stays into the game. Game tied at 1. Sox about hit the Reds 7-6. It's been an errorless game. Johnny Danks has done a terrific job through 7 innings. He's gotten the ball over. He's worked quickly. He's changed speeds. He's changed eye angle, up, down, in and out. One of his best performances of the year. You look at the numbers, they're very impressive, and John has changed a few things. Came out today with a lot of life on the fastball, and it stayed through 7 innings. So he's held them to 1 run. Now it's time for the offense to come to life against Tony Cingrani, a left-hander who has had some control difficulty.
Well, I just like the way he changed up. It's almost like having a car back in the old days and putting fender skirts on them.
Do whatever you have to do
it.
to change the way things are going if you're not happy with the way things are going.
That's exactly right. He changed up. A couple of quick pitches in there. Took a cue from Johnny Cueto yesterday. So here is Abreu as he takes ball 1.
Yeah, this was pretty impressive for Johnny Danks.
Well, it throws him right back in the mix. 2-0. Right back in the mix of being Johnny Danks.
Well, you got to look long and hard to find a competitor like John, a guy who seemingly is impervious to pressure, as game 163 would illustrate earlier in his career.
Yeah, that's not even an issue with him.
No.
Everything is self-induced, though. And when he's going bad, he puts so much pressure on himself, even sometimes it does get to him. But he is a competitor. We've got some guys who will compete with you. Take Sale and Samardzija, Danks. There's the leadoff walk.
You got to figure if you're patient with Cingrani, you are going to get maybe another free pass before this is over. And Zach Duke listening up in the pen.
Tell you who else will compete with you too when he gets some jams, especially it's Quintana.
We've seen him get in and out of some unbelievable jams.
Sometimes he's like Houdini.
Pena now going to go out to have a word with Cingrani, who's finding the plate jump around on him.
Want to know the count. Adam has walked, struck out, and doubled. That was close.
That one almost knocked Joey Votto into the grassy area. Granny went over there with something on it.
And the count 2-0. Don't help him out. And the count 3-0. Garcia on deck. So back-to-back walks.
And a call to the bullpen. And a very quick trip to the mound.
Well, Cingrani, when he was at Lincoln Way Central High School in New Lenox, they were playing the state's top-ranked team. He threw a no-hitter with 20 strikeouts.
That's good.
So he's got the ability.
Jumbo Diaz throwing in the pen. Don't know why they call him Jumbo, but there he is.
And here's Avi.
And Diaz is getting ready in a hurry. They list him at 278. I think he has surpassed that some time ago. But he's a big man.
La Romana in the Dominican Republic. A beautiful place right on the coast. And there's ball one. And there's a strike. 1-1 to count. Now you can go to work, Avi. Outfield straight up.
Infield halfway. Plenty of room to dump the ball over their heads as they're drawn in looking for two.
That ball hit into left center field. Hamilton making the call. Abreu. They're going to throw to second base. And there you can't get it. So Abreu into third. LaRoche into second.
A big gamble by Adam LaRoche because he doesn't beat it by all that much. Hamilton with a good arm.
And made a good throw.
And fortunately, that foot on the bag before the tag. That's a whole lot closer than you would have liked.
So here's Alexei. Alexei 0 for 3 today.
Well, let's see if they put him on first base, take their chances with Beckham against Jumbo Diaz.
Infield in. One 7-0 for us, 1-6-0 for them here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And there's ball 1. Outfield straight up, spread out, about equidistant. Helps him out.
Got to look for something, number 1, in the zone, and number 2, preferably above the belt that you can hit in the air. 2 best arms in the outfield, Hamilton in center, Bruce in right.
And Frazier playing him perfectly as far as you play in is commensurate with the speed of the runner at third. That'll get the job done. So here comes Abreu, and Sox lead it 2-1. Good job by Alexei.
RBI number 14. He did get something high in the strike zone. Cingrani with a mistake. Pena wanted it inside. He got it outside, and Alexei gets the job done.
Don't stop now, boys.
It's third sacrifice fly of the year for Alexei.
The pitch just off the corner. Throw one in the dirt. Count evens at 1.
Leadoff walk. Let's come back to haunt Cingrani and the Reds.
Well, we've been hitting the daylights out of the ball all day, coming up empty. Here we got a run with not a hit.
The walking offense.
Back-to-back walks to Abreu and LaRoche.
And a good piece of situational hitting by Alexei. With a drawn-in infield, looking for something up. He got it. And Johnny Danks looking for a win. And it would be a well-deserved one if the bullpen can make it hold up.
That's Souvenir right side. Come on, Gordon. 2 hopper. And then Phillips has got him, but we come up with a run. We'll go to the 8th leading 2-1.
Time brought to you by Miller Lite, and our Miller Moments is the day of Johnny Danks. He was brilliant today, very much in command the entire way, going 7 strong, and he'll leave with the lead as Johnny Danks looking for a win, and we'll see if Zach Duke can be one of the 2 guys to make it hold up. He's on for the 14th time. His ERA 1.35. The record 1-1.
Bird, Votto, and Frazier. This is the iron of that Cincinnati offense, followed by Phillips and Bruce. Marlins 0 for 2 with a walk. What a job by Johnny Danks today. Just great to see. Great to see. First pitch strike. Made some adjustments out there. Changed up a few things.
6 hits, just 1 run through 7.
What I want to count. It's a big man right here because Votto has hit Zach hard. One and 2. Field swung around to the left there. Deep.
They're very deep all the way around. Bird has 6 home runs.
He did not go, says John Champagne. That's the leadoff walk. So here's Votto. He is 12 for 21 against Zach, with 5 doubles, a homer, and 6 RBIs.
Want to know where to find bacon on a stick when you're at the U.S. Cellular Field? You want to track the Red Line trains after attending a game? You interested in a seat upgrade? Download MLB.com Ballpark, the official U.S. Cellular Field Ballpark app for iPhone and Android smartphones. Visit whitesox.com/ballpark app to learn more.
Oh, I wanted to count to Votto. Just tuning in, we scored a run in the 2nd. They scored 1 in the 4th. We just put 1 on the board in the 7th. Sacrifice fly by Alexei.
Votto's grounded in 4 double plays this year.
He's off the breaking ball now. He's on top of the count, 2-1. That evens it up. Pretty good pitch, did not get it.
That could have easily gone the other way. It did not. You'll see in the Toyota pitch tracks that this has a piece of the zone.
That hurts. Got him struck out. And once again, the payoff pitch. Steps on the bag. Return throw. Yes. Yes. 2 down.
3-6-3 double play. And Alexei knew that you got to put the tag on once Adam stepped on the bag. In fact, he was right on top of the bag when he made this catch. There's a first out. And Alexei with a good angle on the throw back. And a nice pick by Adam LaRoche. And he's just waiting for Bird to come back to him. Good pick. Good
play. Here is Frazier. Breaking ball hit hard. So Frazier now 3 for 5 off Zach with a homer, but he kept that one in the yard.
You faced him a few times as they were in the same division, with Zach having a very good year at Milwaukee, and they ran into one another.
Here's Brandon. He is 2 for 3 today.
Frazier loves to get a walking lead and just keep on walking and then take off. So you have to make him stationary.
He likes that Brian Roberts lead.
If a pitcher will allow you to do it, it's a good one.
I guess. All you got to do is stop it. Just stare at it, look him right in the eye and stare at it.
David Robertson starting to loosen up.
That's low. Boy, Zach. One and one to count with 2 out here in the top of the 8th. 2 7-0 for us, 1 7-0 for them. Todd Frazier does a lot of good things on the field. On the bases, at the plate, defensively. Ball gets away. So
it's pass ball.
That'll be a pass ball.
Now he's got to go out there and talk about a set of signs they want to use with Frazier at second base and Don Cooper coming out.
Jay Bruce on deck, who was 2 for 17 lifetime off that.
That's probably what he reminded him of. You got a pretty good hitter at the plate. Phillips has a couple of hits today and will make contact, and the man in the on-deck circle is a lefty-lefty advantage for you.
Downside is that's a go-ahead run if they're going to go ahead and take the shot. And that's ball 4. So here's Bruce. Jay has walked, fouled out to third, and hit into a 4-6-3 double play. Bonifacio out there in short right field. That's into center field. We got a man there back on the track. And that'll retire the side. He's now 2 for 18.
Pitcher coming in the game. It's Jumbo Diaz. At the bottom of the 8th inning with the Sox leading 2-1. There you look at the numbers. On for the 12th time. He's 1-0, but a lot of hits for innings pitched and an 8.38 ERA. He has allowed 3 home runs, which 9 2/3 innings is a whopping total.
I love it. I love it when they give a pitcher accountability. Coop goes out there. Who do you want to get after? Phillips?
That's a no-brainer.
Well, you'd think so with 2 for 17.
Yeah.
But I love it, the fact they gave Zach that option. So here is Flowers. Tyler, a double, a run scored, and a couple of walks, as there's a breaking ball strike from the big man.
Diaz has been around forever. He started his career in 2002 in the Dodgers organization. And the first time he made it to the major leagues was last year, 36 games. So you're talking about a lot of stops in a lot of different minor league cities, from rookie ball to AAA. And just about every place you could think of before he finally made it to the majors. So he is a study in persistence.
Some managers, majority of managers, would not make that. They would not give Zach accountability. The majority of managers would not put the go-ahead run on. The 1-2 pitch. Two 7-0 for us, 1 7-0 for them here in the finale of this homestand and the rubber match of this 3-game set. That one at 99.
Jumbo played in 14 minor league cities, and with a fastball like that, you wonder what took him so long getting here, but it's been harnessing the control that's been the factor.
Well, besides 99, it had movement. That one at 97. And there he stayed with that breaking ball and singles. What a good at bat right there for Tyler.
That was a good slider, and it was rifled into left field. So a good at bat. Situation where a pitcher who throws 99 makes a perfect pitch, and he gets beat with it.
So here's Shuck. A walk, a single. And there's a bunt. That's a good one. And they just do get it.
That's pretty close at first base. I think Robin wants to take another look at it. Got Shuck hustling down the line. Frazier does everything he can do. This is the second of 2 perfect bunts. Bonifacio had a perfect bunt. And Robin is going to go back, thinking that throw beat him by an eyelash.
And it did. Good call by John Tumpain. As we mentioned, he's one of the better young umpires coming up. So now Micah Johnson goes out to run for Tyler. But what a nice play by Frazier on a perfect bunt. Wow.
Well, there's been some good execution on the part of the Sox today. They've been asked to bunt twice perfect bunts. A sacrifice fly in a situation with a drawn-in infield. Alexei drives home the go-ahead run.
And the ball gets away. So Micah now into third. Big run out there, Emilio.
That is a wild pitch. We talked about the control of Jumbo, or lack thereof. This is a big wild pitch. So now, a hitter's dream, a drawn in infield, and I mean they are way drawn in.
Well, you got to with Micah Johnson. And you see what. And almost got away again. Throw another one in that dirt. It's different if you got somebody else down there. You can play back another step or two. Outfield straight up, spread out, about equidistant. Emilio has walked, had an RBI single, a perfect bunt single. He's 2 for 3. They can't get him.
And Phillips most unhappy with himself, but he did a terrific job of just getting to this ball, because through a drawn-in infield there are no angles. He thought he had a shot. But when you're talking about Micah Johnson, you're talking about elite sprinter speed, and he looked up and realized then no shot at all. Micah going on contact, and that's the only thing that allowed him to get in. So the pinch runner after the successful sacrifice and a huge insurance run.
Bonifacio with 2 big RBIs. Melky, he's been the wear it guy today. He swung the bat extremely well and come up empty. Nice play by Votto. He looks pretty good over there with that leather. Meanwhile, we come up with a run. We go to the 9th, leading 3-1.
Purchase a pink bat for someone you love today at MLB.com, and $10 will be donated to the Susan G. Komen and Stand Up to Cancer. To recognize someone you know who is going to bat against breast cancer, visit MLBcommunity.org. Giovanni Soto comes in behind the plate, and David Robertson comes in on for the 13th time. No ERA, but 21 strikeouts in 12 innings, giving up just 6 hits and looking for his 6th save.
Mesoraco to face Luke's dad. First pitch strike. Luke is Aaron and David's 2.5-year-old son. And That's into left field for a base hit. Tommy Hawk that one. Got that up. So leadoff man aboard. Here's Pena. He is 1 for 3. Last time up. Hitting right-handed, hit a high fly ball down the right field line. Avi had a long way to go. And look at this. Just beats it right softly in the hole. That's what he does against us. So the first 2 men aboard.
You would think they would be pinch running for Pena as he eases this one through the right side. And he represents a tying run. They're also going to pinch run for Mesoraco.
That is Brennan Bosch.
Chris Negron comes on to pinch run at first. Brennan Bosch comes on to pinch run at second.
And here's Cozart. He's 2 for 3. Roche looking for the bunt. Gordon at the cut of the grass. And he can't get it.
Cozart normally makes contact, but David Robertson is not the normal relief pitcher. Cozart's only fanned 17 times in 102 at bats.
Aslo. Three-1 Sox. Nobody out, 2 on. Tying runs aboard. And a 1-2 pitch. All right.
That's another pass ball.
So 2-2 is the count. Cozart, the way he can handle that, certainly he's trying just first of all make contact. Next of all, infield's back, get it to the right side, get one in and one over. That's trouble. We got ourselves a tie ball game, but they got the go-ahead one on the second, nobody out.
RBIs 14 and 15. That Cozart has had quite a series. This one is inside off the plate. He pulls the hands in, takes it right down the line. And still nobody out. A bunting situation for Hamilton. With that in mind, Gordon is very close at third base, but you have to keep your eye on Cozart. Give him a couple of looks at second or he's going.
Takes a bunt, takes a strike.
And the one guy you were hoping not to see in this series is the guy that is loosening up in the bullpen, and that's Aroldis Chapman. There is the fireballing left-hander. closer for the Reds.
Adam coming way in. And that's fouled away. So 2 strikes, nothing in 2 the count. Right on down the line.
Well, he's not really what you'd call a pull hitter, so Ryan Price probably figuring his best shot is just to lay it down anywhere.
He gone. Big out.
He goes to the curveball, and Hamilton, who looked bunt the last pitch, swings right through it.
So here's Marlon Byrd, 0 for 2 today with 2 base on balls. Bonifacio will have to come over and give him a couple of dekes or something. There's the strike. Another one.
Game plan is pretty simple if you can execute it, which is get by Bird, put Votto on first, and take your chances with Frazier.
He gone. 2 down.
Those 3 all in the zone, and Marlin just shaking his head.
Well, here's Votto. Bonifacio's got him, and that'll retire the side. But they come up with a pair. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th, tied at 3.
Brian Price trying to buy an inning. He's 1-0. He's on for the 14th time. Has not given up anything. 12 2/3, just 6 hits, 6 walks, and 22 strikeouts. Tucker Barnhart comes in behind the plate. And there's a very good chance somewhere along the line these two guys played either with or against one another in Cuba.
We got Abreu, LaRoche, and Garcia with Alexei, the 4th hitter. Pitch at 99. That pitch at 99. Chapman 6'4", 215 pounds. And that's low. Last year in 54 innings had 106 strikeouts.
He can rush it up there. But maybe he'll make a mistake in the zone.
That one at 100. And that one at 101. 2013 and 63 2/3 had 112 strikeouts. And that one at 102. 1 out.
Nobody has lit it up like this. You don't have a whole lot of time to decide at 102. Expanding his zone, goes down on strikes. I don't think I would enjoy the lefty-lefty mano-a-mano in this situation.
Adam is 1 for 2 with a couple of walks and a double. That one at 101. He's faced Chapman 3 times and he's 0 for 3. Ball hit sharply. Phillips has got it. 2 down. This up to Avi. On the other side of the page, it's sort of fun facing a guy throwing that hard. Faced Steve Dalkowski, which is acknowledged to be the hardest thrower in the history of the game. And it was actually, I mean, it's just fun.
Well, Roldis got better control than Steve Dalkowski had. Of course, just about everybody
Dalkowski
had better control.
Probably threw right at, according to guesstimates and everything, because they didn't have the guns, right at about 110.
With no control.
But
not good.
Boy, change up at 89.
Now, how can you not be sitting on that changeup?
21 to count.
Guy's got 102, 103 in his back pocket and throws you a straight change.
Like Sports Illustrated did a big story on Delkowski. He was talking about how he struck me out 5 times in the game, throwing all sliders. He had a short memory because he never threw me one slider and he struck me out 5 times.
Well, yes, not a real good memory, but a really good fastball.
Yeah. That one at 100. Shot base hit. That one at 101. It's the challenge. It's the challenge when you're getting a guy throwing that hard.
Also, the ball was down, and that helped a lot.
Well, he's not going to catch 101 upstairs.
I don't think anybody is.
It's like Sir Edmund Hillary said, because it's there. So here is Alexei. 0 for 3, but a big sacrifice fly, giving us a 2-1 lead coming back in the 7th inning. Shot up the middle. Hamilton gets to it, so back-to-back singles. Avi and Alexei.
That was a high fastball, but the one thing that we've known about Alexei since he's put on that uniform is it doesn't matter who's throwing the fastball, and it doesn't matter how fast he's throwing it. He's going to be able to hit fastballs.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you obviously eliminate everything else. I know a lot of guys that I played with could turn a 100-mile-an-hour fastball around. So here's Gordon. Gordon is due. He's 0 for 4, and he has been swinging that bat well. Ball gets away. Now that makes it even a little better because now you can eliminate the breaking ball if you're Gordon Beckham.
Surprisingly enough, that's the first wild pitch of the year for Chapman.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
At that speed, tough to hit it, tough to catch it. And that one off the glove and the chest protector of Barnhart as it floats away. So now the winning run, 90 feet away.
Got another one in the dirt. And at the top of the zone, out at 100. Boy, that at 101. Watch out.
Pretty close play at third base.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out.
Good throw. Panavi back just under the tag.
Yes! Yes! And this ball game is over! Marcy!
Finally, Gordon, who has hit the ball awfully hard, gets a little looper to drop. Gets that ball up and in against the hardest thrower in baseball. And dumps it into right center field.